Okay, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Rolling? I can't even believe, here we are, right?
Here we are.
Here we are. We've talked about this moment for a long time, right? 41 years of service providing local news to viewers of WJAC. Looking back on your career here, what are some of your fondest memories of working at WJAC?
I think really the first time I walked in, because to me it was a dream come true, getting to work at WJAC in my hometown, where I knew everybody, I understood the sports landscape. I watched Bill Wilson growing up. And so that's what I wanted to do, and to do it here was the big thrill.
You've covered some really big sports and news headlines. What are some of the stories that you're going to share with your grandkids down the road?
Well, I think anytime you get a chance to go to a Super Bowl or a Rose Bowl, that's always fun. I mean, that's just a fun trip. But really the best story clearly was the Big Ten and Penn State going into the Big Ten, because that was a shocker. And I broke that story before there was social media. Athletic directors at Big Ten conferences sort of laughed at me for suggesting this was happening, not realizing it was done at the presidential level. They knew nothing about it. And so when the story broke, it was national news, obviously. And to say that, I was the person who broke that story, that's probably the proudest story I have, because, I worked it so hard, called so many people, and was turned down so often I was ready to give up, but I trusted my source enough to stick with it. And it turned out to be exactly what it was, Penn State going to the Big Ten.
That's one of the things I wanted to touch upon. You have valued relationships with many sources in the community, and you've developed those over the years.
Well, it's a matter of trust. When someone says off the record, it's off the record. And I've always been that way, and I would even make sure that, is this on the record, off the record? And you build that trust up, because if someone is telling you something off the record, they know it's going to stay there. If they're willing to tell me and I can break the story, then we go with it. But you have to develop that trust. And if you break that, then you lose that forever. It's hard to get it back once it's lost.
I'm curious to hear what you'd like to say to the viewers of WJAC who have watched you faithfully over 4 decades, more than 4 decades, and really have supported you throughout your career.
Well, it's been overwhelming, for one. Like I said, going to basketball games and such, through my sports years, just meeting people, talking with people, going to local festivals. Holly and I like to go out to a lot of them, and just interacting with the folks. I mean, I remember Chuck Bridges, when I was in radio, told me, we're disseminators of information, and that's all we are. We take information and we provide it to viewers. So that's how I approached my whole career, is just gathering information and presenting information. And I think that's the core of what we do, at least I think is what we should do. A very objective approach, and just tell the news like the news is. And so getting the chance to meet the people that we broadcast to every day has been a thrill. And through my health situations, they've been just unbelievably, they've been so wonderful, and I've been overwhelmed by the support, the letters, the calls, now the texts, but it's been great.
And you'll always be Tim Rigby from WJAC, even after you leave here.
Well, it started back in radio a long time ago, and there were people back there who really influenced me. In high school, my high school English teacher, Don Ficco, got me into journalism. At Pitt Johnstown, Tom Russell was a big influence. And I get into radio, and Paul Staggerwall, Jeff Wilkinson, Doug Krisner, so many people that really got me on the right path. And then here, Greg Confer took me under his wing. And working with Greg and Bill Wilson through the sports was just a wonderful experience.
What about your family? I know they've been by your side through all of this. You've missed a lot of family dinners working the 11 o'clock news.
Yeah, for 30 years doing the sports, at 6 and 11. Missed a lot of evenings, but fortunately lived close enough that I could have dinner time at home. And so it wasn't like I never got to see the kids, but I did miss some things. And that's one regret I have, is some of that time away. Certainly I can't get it back, but we've certainly made up for it since they've grown up.
That's right. I don't want to put you on the spot, but how would you like to be remembered?
I go back to what Chuck Bridges said. I just objectively presented sports and news. And I think I tried to do it as fairly as I could. And if people think I did that, then I did my job.
Well, a job well done. And I just want to say that I think you're a true professional, an experienced, credible, award-winning journalist, and a mentor to me. Whenever I look at you, you're a leader by example. And I see excellence. And it makes me strive to be excellent at what I do.
Well, thank you. And, you know, I'm a stickler. Everybody knows my pet peeves, you know, whether it's grammar, spelling, you name it.
Right.
You know, again, that goes down to my foundation was print journalism. That was my degree in college. So, you know, everything goes back to print. I got into broadcasting almost by accident. It just, you know, I took a radio internship just for something fun to do in college, and it turned into a broadcasting career. And so I had that foundation prior to coming here. And then coming here, then you learn the technology and everything that goes with it. And you adjust to that as well.
Well, I'm very grateful for everything that you've done for me. And I'm very grateful for our friendship. We're going to miss you here at WJAC.
Well, I'm going to miss everyone here, no doubt about it. But we all, you know, we keep in contact. You know, social media can be a bad thing sometimes, but Facebook can be fun too. So it's kept me in touch with people that have left here, you know, 30, 40 years ago almost, you know. So it's been great to keep in touch with those folks.
I will be expecting those text messages during the newscast. This chyron is misspelled, or you might want to check that fact. You'll keep us in line.
Well, I'll tell you, it's just been my pleasure to do this in my hometown for as long as I was able to do it. And that's what I take away, that what a privilege it's been for me.
Absolutely.
And the way the people have treated me in this community, I couldn't have asked for anything better.